Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream, and I'm going to do your February the 12th just for today in a meditation. I hope that when you wake up, you will have a beautiful, beautiful morning. I am planning on having a good rest when I get done with this. Let's say it's about almost 2 a.m. And I thought maybe I could do this before I rest. Okay. So, greetings on your day. The title of the Just for Today in a Meditation for the 12th, Living in the Moment. We regretted the past, dreaded the future, and weren't too thrilled about the present. Basic text, page 7. Until we experience the healing that comes when we work the 12 steps, it is doubtful that we can find a statement more true than the quote above. Most of us come to NA hanging our heads in shame, thinking about the past, and wishing we could go back and change it. Our fantasies and expectations about the future may be so extreme that on our first date with someone, we find ourselves wondering which lawyer we'll use for the divorce. Almost every experience causes us to remember something from the past or begin projecting into the future. At first, it's difficult to stay in the moment. It seems as though our minds won't stop. We have a hard time just enjoying ourselves. Each time we realize that our thoughts are not focused on what's happening right now, we can pray and ask a loving God to help us get out of ourselves. If we regret the past, we make amends by living differently today. If we dread the future, we work on living responsibly today. When we work the steps and pray each time we discover we're not living in the present, we'll notice that those times aren't occurring as often as they used to. Our faith will help us live just for today. We'll have hours, even days, when our full attention is focused on the current moment in time, not the regrettable past or fearful future. Just for today, when I live fully in each moment, I open myself to joys that might otherwise escape me. If I am having trouble, I will ask a loving God for help. Let's go ahead and take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Please and thank you. Powerful meditation, living in the moment. And it's true. When we first get clean and we come to the program, we're very much aware of how unmanageable our lives have become. That's why I said the first step shouldn't be so difficult. By the time we get to the point of surrendering to the program of Narcotics Anonymous and we stop using, it's usually because we were forced to. We absolutely needed to in order to continue living and continue to have relationships with people that matter most to us. They were drawing lines in the sand, and we needed to abide by them in order to interact with them. Our health, the jail, the judge. There's so many things that could have run us into Narcotics Anonymous, but the bottom line is by the time we have a lot of cleaning up to do beyond just not using. And if we are too projective in our thinking, or too regretful, or too remorseful in our thinking about the past, and too projective about the future, what can happen is that we don't take care of what's in front of us. We don't handle what's in front of us just for today. It's very common, as this meditation shares, for people to come in here and have so much hanging over their heads from the past. And it causes us to have a lot of shame. It causes us to want to rush to people and tell them, I'm so sorry. Or maybe not even that. Maybe we're just paralyzed with fear. We don't want to address what we've done to them because we're so fearful of, one, our admittance to them that we were wrong, but two, their rejection of us in that moment of humility for us. So, what happens sometimes is that you sit around thinking about all of that dark stuff that you used to do, or you project about all the great things you're going to do, and nothing gets handled in today. And it's a vegetative state. It is very common initially. That's why we tell the newcomer, just do 90 and 90, make meetings, every day. Find yourself a sponsor in that 90 days, and then start digging into the step work and learn more about your disease of addiction. Educate yourself by working these steps. And I must say, the way the steps have been written is pretty profound. It causes an individual to look and to peer at themselves over and over and over again in a way that will allow them to come to the conclusion, I am definitely a serious addict, but today I'm a recovering addict and I can get this done. I can do this. I see the pattern. I see it. I understand what the pattern was and the exact nature now. I understand that. And I can see it coming a mile away today, and I can avoid those traps today. Recovery is beautiful, and I want you to experience the beauty of living in the moment, but living in the moment is not, it's not something that just happens. It's something that you practice doing, just like I told you the other day about faith. Living in the moment means that when you recognize that you're obsessing about something that you can't change the past, and you definitely cannot predict your future, right? You can take steps to make sure that it's bright and beautiful, but you can't predict it. You don't know it. So these are things that we can't change. There's going to be times where that's going to come up. You're going to find yourself, you're not even paying attention to the people around you talking to you because you're worried about tomorrow. You're worried about what you're going to wear tomorrow, how you're going to look and what you're going to say, and if you're going to be accepted and whether or not the deal is going to happen. And you're worried about what's going to happen when I see my parents again and they see that I'm clean and I've avoided them for however long. And you can't even handle what's right in front of you because you're so concerned and obsessive over the things of the past and the future. And when that happens, this meditation is recommending that you take a pause and you bring everything forward and centered into today. And you use your relationship with your higher power to ask a loving God to help you to get outside of your self-obsession, because that's what it is. And I told you a week ago or so that it's innate for us to worry about our survival. The trick for us is finding the balance of what is self-care, self-love versus self-obsession. I know you can do it. You got all the tools that you need right here. My name is Mighty Stream. I've enjoyed talking to you, and I am going to be talking to you tomorrow. Have a beautiful day on purpose.